I want to wrap up, get your thoughts on the coalition's gas plan. I've spoken to people in the industry. They're really scratching their heads as to how this is going to work in terms of things like, you've got to get the gas from Queensland south to make that whole thing work. How do you do it? The pipelines are full. How do you do it and still meet these cost benchmarks that they're talking about?
So look, first and foremost, getting more gas in the system is absolutely essential if we're going to get the price down. So at least their head and their heart is in the right place. Then the question is, how do you do it when we're not using the gas under our feet in New South Wales and Victoria? So the first issue you raise is a really important one. The pipelines are full. You can't get this gas south. So how are you going to bring down the price in the short term in New South Wales and Victoria? The second thing that they're talking about is uncontracted gas. Now, sensibly, they're saying, if you're a long-run contract, you're Japan, you're Korea, you're wherever, that stays. We're talking about that gas which is not contracted and sold on the spot market. Well, what will happen? Well, if the incentive to sell the gas goes, so will the gas. You'll find that uncontracted gas dries up when people aren't getting the price for it that they think it's worth.
Because when we use the term, it's very complex, but just to explain it, when you use the term uncontracted, it means that those companies like Shell and Origin then go to the international market and sell that gas at the highest possible price. And it's part of their commercial framework that they set up these assets a decade ago. And it was under that, that planning, including selling some of that stuff internationally, that they were able to make their business case stack up. So then a decade on, you're telling them, no, you can't sell that internationally, sorry.
Yeah, no, the other thing too is that people need to understand how this works, right? Those countries paid for that development, right? Yeah. On the understanding that they would get long-run contracts. Two things that we're making people nervous about. One is sovereign risk, is that we might interfere in that. But secondly, this uncontracted gas, as I say, it will not be produced if people don't get a price for it.
And they need incentive. We need to just produce more.
But let's underline this, and I always come back to this point. It is more wind and solar on the grid will never bring down the cost of electricity, and that is something that at least the coalition understands that they have to keep hammering. It is the cost of fuel that will drive the cost of electricity, and that fuel will either be coal or gas. And at the moment, the gas price is way too high.
Let's just go back to one other thing from the debate. The work from home exchange, I did put this to Peter Dutton and Anthony Albanese. The fact that Chris Minns is actually supporting getting back into the office for public servants. Have a look at this. Why did you dump it?
Whatever the flexible arrangements are, that's fantastic. That's a decision between you and your employer.
Peter hasn't been able to stand up for his own policy, so I don't know how he can stand up for Australia. Working from home is a really important component in modern families.
Yeah, it's an interesting development that we've had in our economy, in our society since COVID. A lot more people working from home, say 1 or 2 days a week, providing some flexibility. I know where Peter Dutton and the coalition were sort of targeting the view, but unfortunately for them, 2/3 of the public service aren't in Canberra, they're around the country. There are a lot of people in the private sector also who are enjoying the benefits of more flexibility, and it all got blended together, the argument.
And that goes down to messaging, right? If we've got a coalition that cannot go to an election now saying that it cannot cut public service jobs or make public servants work from home, where has the coalition got itself to? And that was one of Albanese's strongest moments, where he says, if you can't stand up for your own policy, how can you possibly stand up for the country? So that's an issue for them, and it's a deeper issue than just them backing away from a policy. Is how could you get that so catastrophically wrong? And that has cost them time and cost them skin. And again, this is one of those things where I thought he missed the opportunity. Anthony Albanese early in the debate started to go into everyone working from home, and he should have stopped him at that point and saying, no, that was never the case. And this is what happened. You misrepresented it. As you do, I would have said, on so many things.
Yeah, indeed. That would have been a moment. I wonder, did Jane Hume, did they take it to focus groups? Did they test this idea? Because you would test it in your own office and you'd pick up pretty quick that that had hairs on it, that policy. But Chris, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon. The campaign defining debates continue tonight on Sky News. The Treasurers face off in their first campaign clash. Ross Greenwood to moderate that debate tonight. Then we have the energy debate on Thursday. That's with Bowen and O'Brien, and Tom Connell is going to be overseeing that one.